I have just been talking to myself for 10 minutes and I forgot to record this. So, this is the second episode of today. It's episode 9, Whag Wan, and the theme story episode blah 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 blah. What is it about? Well, it's about what I like to call interstellar or intrastellar. It's up to me, I can call it whatever I want. Constellations. Now, if you broke that actually down into what it really meant, then my description would be wrong. Basically, this is the name I like to give to it. So Inter-Stellar Constellations. Basically, it's the idea that when you hear an idea for the first time consciously, you start hearing it all the time. You start seeing the idea or hearing it or thinking about it. My idea, I could mean word, or I could mean image or song. I'll give you an example of this. So the other day I was listening to the radio and I heard the word hegemony. Hegemony? Basically, for anyone that wants to know what the word is, let me just have a quick look. If my computer is working, I'm going to sing a song while I wait for the words. La 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 la, boo ba boo, bam shi bab shi boop, boop boop boop. Okay, hegemony. It is loading very slowly. A hegemony is an indirect form of government or imperial dominance in which the hegemon brackets leader state rules geopolitically subordinate states by the implied means of power, the threat of the threat, rather than by direct military force. Modern day examples of this include the USSR and USA and West Germany, maybe? Or maybe it's East Germany. No, I think it's West Germany. Oh no, Nazi Germany. Fuck it. Anyway, so yeah, this is like the first time I'd ever really heard that word, and I was like, that's a pretty cool word, I'm going to find out what it is. And then I heard it again the day after. I was like, that's pretty strange. Why have I just heard it again? And then, my battery's running out. And then I heard it on Thursday, and it kind of made me think, wow, that's really, really weird. I'm just going to go off a sec. I think that's really, really weird. How come I've heard that word 3 times? I have never heard it up until that point. And it just made me think, wow, this happens all the bloody time. Another example is when I was younger, I used to call people Errol Flynn because I liked the name Errol Flynn, and somehow I'd heard of it as I was a kid, and I thought it might have been the character that tries to kill Daffy Duck. Is it Daffy Duck? Yeah, he tries to kill Daffy. Is it Daffy Duck? Like the hunter guy. I used to think he was called Errol Flynn. And I hadn't heard the word Errol Flynn for like 15 years, the name Errol Flynn. And it just randomly popped into my head last night. So I went online and I typed in Errol Flynn, and it turns out he's like a successful, really successful actor from like the 50s or something. I can't remember. And then I was like, oh, Errol Flynn, what a cool name. So I say Errol Flynn all the time. And then I went to my uncle's house I've not seen in about a year and a half. And I was talking to him about a place I'd walked the day before, and I said it was called Turtle Rock. And he went, oh, I've never heard of a place called Turtle Rock, but what I've heard of is Errol Flynn's cap. And I was like, what the hell's that? And he was like, oh, well, that's the rock that you're talking about. It's just a different name for it. And I was like, wow, this is totally amazing. Like, I've never heard the word Errol Flynn. I tried to explain to it, I haven't heard it for like 10 years prior to thinking about it the other day. It just kind of got me started on this conversation with him about, really weird things that happen like that. And a third example, I realise this is not even that interesting, these anecdotes that I'm telling, but I was once out on a place where I live, going for a walk, a place called Penistone Hill, and someone said, hey, there's loads of doggers there. Someone once told me. And it was late at night, I was walking back across the fields, and I saw a van there. I walked past it, and the van on the back said Shipley Stroke Club. And I was like, Shipley Stroke Club, that must definitely be for, like, doggers. And then I basically found out that it was an arthritis, sorry, not arthritis, well, a stroke club for people who've had strokes. And then that was about 2 years ago, and I was just driving back from work today thinking, oh, that was a funny story, what a dickhead I am, like, thinking it was a stroke. And then I literally pulled up, like, 5 or 10 minutes later in front of a car, and there was a Shipley Stroke Club sign on the back of the car. And it's like, I'm pretty sure that, like, if I'd have seen Shipley Stroke Club within, like, the last 2 years, if I'd have consciously seen it, I would have, started laughing. It would have it would reignite the story in my head. I just really think, wow, this is so weird. So I like to call it Inter-Stellar Constellations. when really weird stuff happens that you've just been talking about or thinking about. And yeah, maybe your mind's primed to pick them up. So maybe like with hegonomy, maybe I missed that 100 times until I was paying attention to that word and I thought, this time I'm actually going to find out what this word means. And it could be a lot of the information we're taking from our brain we're not really. It's only processed pre-attentively, and it's only processed in like the lower levels of the brain. And maybe this time I just chose, and then I made a decision that I'm going to pursue those words or those thoughts. I guess it just makes you think, like, not everything you take in you process and you maintain, and there's not always like an important element to attention. A word doesn't have to be important to attend to it. You can just kind of have this like random, like, obviously there's a lot of factors that go into it. You just have this random connection with words sometimes. But once your brain picks up from them, then you're kind of primed for them. It's really weird. I prefer that it wasn't that, and I prefer there's actually like a cooler explanation for it. Like, for example, some sort of hyperspace or multiverse, where maybe I got those mixed up. Multiverse, hyperverse, where there's loads of different universes, and maybe there's just like some sort of disruption or misconnection between the wavelengths between universes. But no, it's just really, really interesting, and I get this with my girlfriend. Like, I hate telling her it because it's really gay, and it just makes her think, oh, we're so like friendly, and we get on so well, and we're so perfect for each other. And I don't like soppy shit like that. But whenever I'm singing a song in my head, I'll just be like going, like the other day I was singing, I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Just in my head, like bopping away. And maybe she just saw my moves and thought, hey, he's definitely singing, is it Fleetwood Mac or is it Creedence Clearwater? I think it's Creedence Clearwater. He's definitely grooving to that, so I know what he's singing. So I'm going to start singing it. So anyway, she starts singing it out loud, and I'm like, what the fuck? That's going on in my head. And like, this happens all the time. Like, I'm just sitting, get up in the morning, and I'm just singing like, taste on lips I wanna ride, your toxic gun slipping under, and I'm just singing that. And then, just in my own head, just like bopping away because I'm embarrassed that I'm singing to Britney Spears. I fucking love it. Oh yeah, wow. And then she just starts singing it. And then, I'm in the car, and I'm just like, I don't know, maybe I'm just listening to Wiki Wild West, Jim West, Desperado on a CD. And then I just walk in, and like, I get into my house, and it's playing. And I'm like, what the fuck is Will Smith playing? That's like a 1999 movie. Why is that playing? And then I'm like, oh, someone must have the same CD as me. And then it turns out, no, it's actually the radio that's playing. And I'm like, whoa, hello, what are the chances? And then my uncle's like, oh, look, yeah, but think of all the times it doesn't happen. And I'm like, yeah, but think of all the fucking times it does. It happens all the time, man. This is scary. This is freaky. It's signs. It's signs. It's like fucking David Icke. We need to sort this shit out. People watching us, people listening to the Illuminati, they know what I'm doing. And I've broken the Inter-Stellar Constellations. Don't tell anyone about it. But if you have any ideas, and Google is evil and YouTube is evil, but don't tell anybody. But if you had any experiences like me, then post them here. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good evening.